Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is Ben Coleman, one of your hosts, one of your many hosts for the Florida Aviation Network. We're here at the 44th Annual Sun and Fun International Convention and Fly-In. Beautiful Lakeland Linder Regional Airport, coming to you live and in the clear from the Florida Air Museum, and it's right across the street from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy. So it sounds like there's a lot going on here, because there is, and they've built this place, and we talk about getting youth involved in aviation, but it's really our responsibility as adults to create an environment that youth want to come to, rather than us trying to shove youth into it. If anybody's ever worked with kids, you try to make a kid do something that they don't want to do, you got a long battle ahead of you. You ever heard the lead a horse to water but make it drink? Can't make them drink. Mm-mm. But if the horse is thirsty, they'll go to the watering hole and you don't even have to entice them. One of the many methods that we have for getting the youth involved in aviation is an outfit called the United States Air Force Auxiliary, and it's the Civil Air Patrol. And we have one of the representatives here, Captain Cibrian Castleman.
Yes. Hi.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure.
And Captain, you've been practicing this you knew about this for weeks, and
Absolutely.
she got thrown under the bus. She just told me and found out that she was going to have to come for Luis Garcia. Thanks a lot, Luis. See, there's Luis Garcia
there
right there. There's
Yep.
Luis Garcia. But Captain, tell us a little bit about the Florida Wing and what your role is with the Florida Wing, and what people can do to get more involved in what goes on, the great concepts that have happened.
Wow, that's a lot of questions in
It
one.
is.
Okay. My job, I'm the Director of Public Affairs for Florida Wing, and my job is to let people know who we are, what we do, and how to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm here today.
And I know that you have some cadets here on the field.
We do. We have a great partnership with Sun and Fun. We're out here every year. They get to work on the taxiway, helping out with some guest safety, and they are able to go through the workshops, participate in the meet and greets, and go through tours of aircraft. So they have a great time out here.
Well, and I tell you, what's your average age of the youth in Civil Air Patrol?
Well, they can start at the age of 12, and our cadet program goes through the age of 21. So 21, they become an adult member. This is a lifelong organization, so they don't have to go anywhere else if they're interested in aviation, even though we do encourage them to participate with other organizations like the EAA. We have a great partnership with them. And the Air Force Association helps support our STEM program with STEM kits and rocketry and unmanned aircraft, remote control aircraft.
Math,
It's great.
electronics,
Yes,
everything.
hydraulics. It's really cool.
And the Captain, if a parent had a youth, let's say 14, 15-year-old girl or boy,
Yes.
and they did have an interest, do they just show up at a meeting, and do you just kind of put them in a uniform and say, go stand here and do this?
Not exactly.
Okay, give me a little clip it about what
Okay.
they do.
We have a kid that wants to join, they are asked to visit for 3 meetings with their parent. We want their parents to become acquainted with the program. We want to see if it's a good fit for their child or their teenager. Yes, and they get taken through several aspects of the program. 3 meetings gives them a good taste of what we do. And they can learn about our youth aviation initiatives by visiting the squadron or by talking to someone out here.
And I bet your recruitment it depends a lot on other folks, and our youth, our young people, we call them kids. Hey, I'm still my mama's baby, okay?
Right.
She still calls me baby.
Yeah.
I'm a big baby, but our kids, if they're having good time and learning a lot, and I know that the training is second to none in the Civil Air Patrol, and they're very, very serious about documentation, and they have an opportunity to start their pedigree very, very young in life,
Yes.
and it follows them for the rest of their life. So it's a great entryway to just give more of a meaning and purpose, particularly in aviation. It is aviation based. It is the Air Force, guys.
It is.
But it is a portion of the Air Force. And I know the folks up at Maxwell Air Force Base quite well. And you fly a lot of the aircraft. I happen to work for Mahindra Aerospace. We have the air vans.
Yes.
So, and there's 16 air vans that are used around the nation with the Civil Air Patrol. And we're going to be utilizing them more with O-Rides. O-Ride, tell me what an O-Ride is.
Well, the orientation flight program is for cadets ages 12 to 17, and they are able to actually sit in the front seat and get a feel for what it is like to fly an airplane. We have our powered orientation flights, and Florida Wing is very fortunate to also have the glider program. And that's based out of Brooksville, and we have some other cooperating aviation partners that assist us in that endeavor.
You mean so cadets can actually learn to fly with the Civil Air Patrol?
Yes, they can.
That's, you know, I think if people realize just what there was to offer, that they would be astonished, really. And we're so fortunate here in this country, and to have our military support of this program. And it's very well run, very well organized. Lieutenant Colonel, no, I guess it's Colonel Garcia now.
It is Colonel Garcia now.
Excuse me, Lewis, but we're talking about safety culture, and it's so important to show folks how to do it right.
Yes.
And the law of primacy, once they learn it the right way, it's going to follow them the rest of their life.
It does. And safety is our number one thing. We have to take care of our people first, or we don't have a program.
That's correct.
So,
is there anything else? I just cut you off. You were going to say something.
you're fine.
Tell us a little bit more about where we can go to find this information.
Well, you can go to the Florida Wing Facebook page. That's always a good place. We post a lot of what's going on. We have the national website, which is gocivilairpatrol.com, where you can put in your zip code to find squadron. So it'll help you locate where a unit is at, when they meet, where they meet, and contact information. So you can actually call ahead and find out a little bit more before you visit.
And Captain, this is a lot more than a summer camp. I mean, and I do know that there's, well, explain to me the term SAREX.
SAREX, that is a search and rescue training exercise, and we have those going on almost every weekend around the state, somewhere. It is where our members train for search and rescue and disaster services. We participate in search and rescue missions when we're requested by law enforcement agencies through the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center. And they know how to get in touch with us. So if they call us, we will assist. And then for the disaster services, for instance, we worked with Hurricane Irma, and we actually supported the Hurricane Maria missions, where we take aerial photography of storm damaged areas, and we provide those to other government agencies who need that information.
We can't develop in the next 5 minutes everything that the Civil Air Patrol does, but I know that you have talking points. That is there anything else that we can develop or pull out? And again, this is sharing this with the public that some may not know acronyms. One of the advantages to being with the Civil Air Patrol, you get to know and learn all these neat new acronyms in aviation.
Yes, it's the Civil Air Patrol alphabet soup. And there are a lot of them. But one of the main points is we need to have adult members to help us support the cadet program. And adult members and our cadets can come in if they're interested in disaster and emergency services, and we train them. You may come in and you don't know how to be a mission radio operator. That's one of the advantages of our program. You can come in and we will teach you. You don't know how to work in a cadet program area, we train you. The training is phenomenal. And and it lets you branch out and explore new things.
And again, this is not a daycare,
Oh, no.
because that is one of the things. I think the Orlando Squadron 259.
Yes.
I was back in a previous career. I would go there to give some airworthiness discussions, and I noticed that there were a couple parents that would just come and literally drop off their kid, and the kid really wasn't all that interested in it. They weren't paying attention. You can tell when somebody's not paying attention to a talk.
Yeah.
And I love to get a hold of those. They're the ones that I go to ask them questions. But it was obvious that they really were not, as you said, a good fit.
Which is why we asked them to visit those 3
Yeah,
meetings.
yeah.
But we have more than just aviation, although aviation is our core. It's really the unifying factor for everything Civil Air Patrol does. We have our aerospace outreach education. We have the internal education where we work with our cadets. And some cadets might fit in better in that mission radio operator spot. And they can train for that and work alongside our senior members, our adult members in missions. And
If they like to camp, if they're into survival skills.
we have survival training camps. We have Hawk Mountain, which is a national training survival camp. We also have the summer encampment, which is more of a leadership type of camp. It's like you can equate it to a boot camp, but not really. It's there's no hazing, there's no bullying. But they get to develop their leadership skills and their followership skills. There are activities also at our encampments that are aviation based. So,
Excuse me.
it's okay.
We have we've been talking an awful lot about youth, but
Yes.
Civil Air Patrol is not just youth.
No.
So for our adults, our big kids out there,
Yes.
it's a wealth of just opportunities to help serve, and you are working in the capacity of with your military.
Yes.
So to a lesser degree, but you can take it to whatever degree that you want. And I know that from your perspective, public relations,
Yes.
we need the adult element in there as well, not just the youth element. So explain that just for a minute. for
Well,
us.
I can give you an example. My son joined, and I didn't join for 3 months until after he did. And I came in as public affairs, and then I discovered emergency services, and I did training there with ground teams, and I hadn't yet started air teams. But then I was with the squadron for a couple of years and ended up being the commander of the unit, of the cadet unit, and it was a phenomenal experience. And from there I started working at the wing level public affairs to help get the word out. We need the adults to come in to help support emergency services and cadet programs, and we need the kids to come in and really enjoy what we do with the aviation.
Wow, I tell you, Captain, it's been a pleasure, and also know that you understand what a topo chart is and working a
Yes.
grid. And I challenge you folks, work a grid with these folks, and you'll learn a lot and you'll enjoy it and get a lot out of it. Captain, thank you so much for your time,
I appreciate you having me here.
and let's do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
And my best to Lewis.
Yes.
And we're going to get him next time.
Yes.
We're going to wrap this one up and go to another interview. And there's always so much going on here at Sun and Fun that we try to give you a sliver, an element of everything that we do here. It's just impossible. So you have to be here. If you're not here physically, you can be here on your live stream. Take it easy. I'm Ben Coleman, one of your hosts. We'll see you next interview.